I just got through watching this stupid YouTube channel video, not YouTube, whatchamacallit, up there with the raccoon. Anyway, about when aliens attack. I tell you what, if that wasn't the most stupidest show, because at the end of the show it shows the only hope for humanity is the Second Amendment. Most countries, anyway, my other fur hat jumped off. Anyway, most countries have disarmed their population, so they have little or no hope of defeating any aliens. Now, this Discovery Channel or Nat Geo Channel, I forgot which one it was, that it's on Netflix, has when aliens attack, shows, you know, all our high-tech stuff get defeated by the aliens, because if they have the technology to travel through the stars, you know, they just knock us over like we're little piss ants. And at the very end of the show, where people, you know, humanity gathers together, we use low-tech stuff, you know, like sending balloons up into their mothership to, you know, set off explosives, or tying C4 to the trees, because, you know, the aliens are harvesting chlorophyll and protein, which is the only thing that we haven't found anywhere else in the universe. Is the only thing that our planet has that you can't get from anywhere else, like asteroids and stuff like that, is chlorophyll and proteins. So if aliens attack us, that they have to be out looking for munchies like us and plants. Other than that, they can get everything else somewhere else. So anyway, this is a hypothetical show, which is kind of ignorant. And at the end of the show, it shows that our low-tech stuff, you know, we're tying C4 and homemade explosives like IEDs to send up, you know, get into the alien craft to get past their shields. Well, without the Second Amendment in full effect, we don't have any of that stuff. And there's very few people like me that know how to make the stuff out of fertilizer, because it's considered crazy by the government to know how to do that stuff. So once these aliens knock off all our military, the rest of the sheeple out there wouldn't know how to defend themselves. Which is another reason that for the Second Amendment is what makes this country invulnerable to attack. Unless somebody nukes us and just totally obliterates every living thing in this country, which would basically, through fallout and everything, waste every other country in the world anyway, which, you know, by blowing us up that bad would destroy all life on Earth. It is impossible for any country to invade us if we implemented the Second Amendment to what the Founding Fathers intended it to be. In other words, me and you would be able to own and carry anything the American soldier carries. That's right. If me and my neighbors got together and we could afford it, we could have a Javelin missile. It would be kind of expensive to shoot. I think one of those things cost like $25,000, $30,000. So I don't think we'd get much target practice with it. But theoretically, we could have one. Anybody want to see me choke a cat live on YouTube? If you don't shut up, you will be choked. You're supposed to be out in the barn anyway. Your food is in the barn, and your water's in the barn. What are you doing in the house? Anyway, soon this will be taking another trip out to the barn where its food and water is. So, let's see, back to the point of the Second Amendment. With the Second Amendment, we don't really need an army. Our Navy, which has the Marines as part of the Navy, is basically all we need. Our Navy protects our coastal waters. The Air Force protects our space and stuff. So a standing army in this country is the most unnecessary thing in the world. All our National Guards and stuff would have all the equipment. All the tanks and all like that would be at every National Guard base in every county of every state. In other words, you spread it out. Just like in that show that they showed when aliens attacked, the final order would be given to all the surviving military to run away, to disperse. And when I was in the Air Force, I was at a tactical air command base, and the base had what was called a FOLTA. Normally the planes, all the fighter planes were lined up on the tarmac. But when we had an exercise, all the planes would go out into a FOLTA, which is basically woods with little paths in it that could be covered up and camouflaged. And that's where they would park the planes. And, each of the planes would be at least 50 yards apart from each other. They wouldn't be close, so if one got blown up, it wouldn't blow up the other. And they were kind of hid, over this large area. Same principle. And that's where our government getting so far away from everything and taking the responsibility of defense away from the people are really dumbing down the people. It's just like the cars, the automobiles. Everything is automated. You push a button and the car parks for you. You call up on the phone because you locked your keys in. It's got radar on it, so you don't run into nobody. All this technology is causing people to be dumber and dumber and dumber because they don't have to think for themselves. And when you don't have to think for yourself, it's common sense goes out the window, and we have all these problems. You can watch the news. We're having these same problems every day. We've got kids that are using, what was that Columbine mass shooting as their goal in life. The media pumped that up so much that other children now think that it's their goal in life to do a Columbine type shooting. It's their goal because the media made them such heroes. It made them it makes nutcases instant media celebrities. So that's my point. All of us should have the training and the ability to defend us and our neighbors. I'll give you a case in point. Some deputies around here think, well, what do you need to know that for? That's dangerous. No. If you're a deputy or you're a police officer, I would think that you would want to know about bombs and explosives and how things are made because you're going to run across them. I want to know how a bomb works. If I ever run across one, I'm 90% sure that I could disarm it with no problem, unless it's one of them super sophisticated ones. in which case I would know to run away because I would know it was sophisticated. I would know it had motion sensor, metal detectors, and all those other kinds of booby traps on it, and I would know not touch-o. If it was just a simple one, like you see on television, you know, the vest with the C4, and each block of C4 has a detonator in it. Just pull the detonators out of each block of C4, and you know, guess what? You got a little wad of M80s. Then the C4 won't go off. Just separate those detonators, and at the most you're going to have a block of M80s to go off. Nowhere near the damage that the block of C4 would be. So simply pulling the detonator out of the block of dynamite or C4 will basically disarm a bomb. You know, you could pull it out and then clip a wire. And the detonators operate on basic wiring anyway. So once you clip the wire, they're done. Pull them out, clip the wire, poof, gone. Now, more sophisticated ones would use a battery with a capacitor. So the capacitor holds just enough charge to set it off, and if somebody disconnects the wire to the battery, that would instantly let the capacitor know, hey, voltage drop like it's not supposed to, capacitor sets off the dynamite. That's a more sophisticated type bomb. But law enforcement should know these things. But I've got deputies and stuff around me that have no knowledge of this stuff. They barely know what the Tennessee Annotated Code is. I mean, face it, you cops, if you're going to choose that as a profession, you should be a professional about it. It's like those little taser guns you got. You know, all the deputies in my county, they carry the tasers now. You know, well, we can't shoot nobody with that because you have to fill out all the paperwork. Disconnect the probe part, and you've got what? A stun gun. You know, if you see another deputy doing something he shouldn't do, you disconnect the probes, which have the serial numbers on it. Disconnect those probes and stick it to his butt, you know, kind of like a cattle prod. You don't have to show that you shot it that way. It's a matter of knowing how things work. Knowledge is key, folks. Knowledge. If you see something on television, if you see a ricin attack, if you see the pressure canner bombs, first thing you should do is go look up and see how one of those things work. That way, if you do see one, you'll know how simple it is to disarm it. I mean, if I would have ran across one of those pressure canner bombs like they used in up there in Massachusetts, it wouldn't have scared me in the least little bit. Disconnect the detonator, which in their case was a fuse. Just pull the fuse out, and all we got is a pressure canner full of ammonium nitrate, aluminum powder, and some ball bearings. Big deal, you know. Nothing. It's not nothing to be scared of as long as you know what it is. Our government is professional about scaring people when they don't know anything about what is being talked about. You. Shut up. See, everybody's going to call Humane Society on me now because I'm choking a cat. Yes, I know. You're going out to the barn. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Go watch the show When Aliens Attack, and at the end, just fast forward to the end of the show, and shows how humanity finally defeats the aliens. and figure out how in the world we're going to defeat the aliens when the government has taken all our arms away from us.